Hello. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. Ooh. Let's see. There we go. Hey, Mats. Nice to see you. Yeah, we've been wondering where you were. Hey, Nadia. How's it going? Straggle Mustani. Yes, Mats, you can go into the forum. It's we just tried it, so the Discord is set up. You can just join and chat. Exams will be all worth it, I promise. Dancing sounds fun. Oh, okay, yeah, that's true. I just remember. Hey, Jack, how's it going? I hope everyone had a good weekend and that you enjoyed yourself. I baked pizza. I borrowed one of those. I don't know if I told you about that last time. Was it last time? I can't remember. No, I don't think it was. One of those, you know, the pizza ovens you have on your terrace that like get really hot, so you can make Napolitan pizzas. And we made pizza. It was like making the dough on the terrace, and then the kids came and they smeared the tomato sauce and put pepperoni on it, and then we chucked it in, and it was really nice. Such an experience. It's fun too. I love cooking food. It's such a social thing to have. I love having people over, having a big barbecue, or maybe not big, but just, you know, having people over and just cooking food, eating together is something really nice about it. I wish we could have an easier time to meet somewhere, someday. There will be like a way to meet each other somewhere. But the problem is we all live all over the world. But one day it would be nice to have like a retreat center or something where you could just cook food. That would be really fun. Maybe in the future, sometime. But except for that, I hope you've all been well and that you've, enjoying yourself. And dancing. Dancing is fun, Mats. And exams. Hopefully they're going well. Hey, Stephen, nice to see you as well. Was it you, Stephen, who asked just before in the... Where's my telephone? Oh, it's over there. In the Discord, you had a question, or was that... Someone asked a question in the Discord that I thought was really... it was a really good question. If it's you, please ask it again. Thinking about getting an uni. Yeah, exactly, the unis, you know them. I'm not sure they're worth it either. Actually, I borrowed an uni from a friend, a 16-inch, and it's really good. They look beautiful, so like really trendy. But I actually did buy. They had a sale on a company here, like an off-brand pizza oven. That's probably just as fine. I would think so. But it's just, I love the experience. You know, cooking food. I've always. If you have kids, you know that they're quite disturbing when you cook food because they go and pull on your like they want something while you're making food. But I have this rule, and I'm in the kitchen. Okay, kids, you get to either watch something on the TV or the iPad or be outside and play. But I need to. I wasn't you, Stephen. Sorry, it was someone else. I need to have a little bit of peace and quiet in the kitchen, and then I just put my earplugs in and I put on some like nice old music. Like 80s or 90s or something, and just like kind of half dancing and just walking around cooking and then kneading the dough and just preparing everything. So as long as I get to have a bit of calmness when I do it, I really love cooking. And then the actual, when you prepare it, that's the nice thing about pizza. Then you can just have like the doughs ready, the buns of the dough, and then the kids get to do it themselves and they mess it up and make holes and they get to try it, and if they find it super exciting, then you put the ingredients on, and then you have to like the pizza, you get it on like one of these big spatulas, I think it's called, like a big spatula. Maybe that's not the right word for a pizza spatula, a shovel maybe, and you kind of have to get it in there, and then it's 450 degrees Celsius, like 900 Fahrenheit or something. So you have to keep on turning it, otherwise it burns and it gets like burned very quickly. But it's really, really nice to do that, and pizza tastes amazing. And that's, if you have kids, the best compliment you can ever get when you cook food is that kids like the food. There's just something about it when a kid says, "Oh, your food is really good," because you know how difficult it is to get kids to like your food. Our best friends were over, and their kid, he doesn't like hamburgers for some reason, and I do smash burgers, and he just ate the whole thing, and he loved it, and the parents were like, "What? He never likes smash burgers. He doesn't eat burgers." So then it's like, oh, that's really nice. So there's something really social about meeting friends and eating and drinking something nice, and just I have this really small speaker that we put on, so there's like elevator music in the background, and it's just this like cozy feeling. So I like cooking and eating food. There's something very primal about that, I think. Sometimes it's a nice way of interacting with people. Mats, I think you referred to the question I asked in Discord. What was it you asked, Mats? Can someone check if you're on a computer, if you're on the telephone, maybe it's more difficult. There was someone who just asked it. Oh yeah, it was you, Mats. You asked something about, what was it? Willpower versus knowing that you do, like the will came in. Could you just paste the question? I think it was you, actually. Because it was a really good question. I see Mats saying, exams are going all right. Tomorrow will be the last exam, and then I'll get my grade for this block on Friday. They finally get to work until December. Oh, nice. You still there at the trainee thing you had before? Just going to prepare the timer. What was I thinking about? I had another interesting thing that happened. We were talking about how it's useful to be able to feel your distortions, and how when you start doing that, it doesn't get personal. It just, you realize that you're controlled by this, almost like there's your mind, and then there's this system that runs parallel to it, or like on the side, that controls what you're doing. And we just believe it's our mind that controls us, but it's actually this other system. I have pagophobia, fear of swallowing food. Oh, really? I have heard of that before. I know I had some as a kid, pagophobia, fear of swallowing food. Is there anything that helps with that? That can help it, like if it's liquid, or is it just the swallowing? I did ask in the Discord meeting about, yeah, that was another one. Something Mats asked for, about, it was a really interesting question, but I'll come back to that later because it ties into what I'm about to say a bit. So I was, we make waffles every weekend. We have a family tradition, so some weekends my fiancé works one of the days, but then the other day we have a waffle breakfast. It's like a tradition every weekend. So we make waffles, and then we have waffles over, and then today we were eating the leftover waffles, and we had spray cream for the kids, and the kids wanted it, and like, oh, let me just throw it. Like, no, let's do it one more time, my fiancé said, and they took the last thing, and then nothing came out. And just as I was putting it away to throw it in the recycling, I dropped it and just smacked, like there was cream in the tip, and it just like blew out everywhere on the floor. I'm like, oh man. And my immediate instinct was this, like, I could feel like whoosh, almost like a tension going through me, and there was this want or need to blame someone, not me, to blame someone else. And immediately I thought, it's my fiancé's fault. It's her fault because she didn't let me take it away immediately. If I would have, this would have never happened. So I could feel that kind of disturbance in the force within, how I felt uncomfortable. And that uncomfortable feeling made me lash out onto someone else. And if I wouldn't have been aware of that, I would have just thought, yeah, well, obviously it's her fault. She did this. And it's very easy to get caught up in this. I could intellectually see, of course it's not her fault. Like, I dropped it. But the distortion that I felt inside wanted me to take some action because it feels uncomfortable. To make it not feel uncomfortable, I should do something, which is to blame my fiancé. And a lot of people aren't aware of this, so they just get controlled by this feeling, and it feels like that is you. That's why it's so difficult. Let's see. It's a daily battle. I think it really helps, but just slow exposures are caused by extreme anxiety. Oh, okay. I'm on the phone today as well. Can't copy-paste the question easily. Got you on the big living room. Nice. I'm honored. Yeah, could you do that, Nadia? That would be nice if you could, so I can read it. Eating is very nice, but there's lots of things people think, oh, that sounds crazy, some people would say, but no, I can completely understand. And it's a really weird sensation if you think about it. You swallow and something goes down your throat, and you can develop all kinds of things that just feel uncomfortable, and then they kind of get out of control sometimes, and it's just really difficult to deal with. But the whole And the thing we look at with Matt's question as well. Yeah, here it is. But I'm sitting at the beach right now and have been thinking, desire always comes creeping in, even though I know better. Letting go feels like. Oh, that's not the full. I see. So what I wanted to say about this is that it's the same as the feeling of when I drop that thing. It's like an uncomfortable feeling and I need to take some kind of action. That action is to blame my fiancé for what happened. What Mats is, hey, mindful mama, what Mats is saying is that he was, if I remember correctly, it was like he's sitting on the beach thinking desire always comes creeping in, meaning like you feel comfortable and calm, but then there's this feeling I need to do something. And intellectually, he knows better. He knows, okay, I shouldn't do this. I don't need to do this because as soon as I start craving for this, I'll be kind of kicked out of being here and I'll want to go somewhere else. And if you look at that, that shows you that it's not your thoughts that are the problem. It's not that you think that. A very aware, conscious action, yes, it still feels like king. The less I practice, the more I get lost in stories on my mind, but deep down. Yeah, so it's really, I almost lost my train of thought. It's this feeling that makes you crave that thing. So let's say chocolate, for instance. I have this soft spot for chocolate. So I can intellectually think, okay, chocolate is bad. I mean, I don't know how it could be, but it is bad, unfortunately, health-wise. And it contains sugar, and sugar is not good for you, definitely not good for you. And if I eat sugar, I sleep worse because it makes my infections, like the inflammations in the body, worse. And it probably kills me and makes me live less. But still, I feel the desire, the craving for, I want some chocolate. So even if I intellectually know it's not good, and I intellectually do everything thinking about, none of this is not good for me, I don't even want to eat it intellectually, I still have a feeling that makes me feel uncomfortable, and I believe that if I take this thing and eat it, I will feel comfortable again. And that's why we do it. So this distortion makes you feel bad, and the way to get out of feeling bad is by doing that thing. And that's exactly how advertisement works. You watch an advertisement, it shows you something, and that thing is designed to make you feel just a little, I started marketing, and it is designed to make you just feel a little bit uncomfortable, and then they present the solution. You're feeling bad because of this, or you should be feeling bad because look at these people. They're so cool and you're not. But here, you can buy this thing and you will stop feeling bad. You'll feel good. So then the belief is that if I just do that thing, I will feel good again. And the problem is not the thought, the problem is that feeling, which is why you can sit on the beach, you can be so calm and just enjoy being there, but then you feel this thing like, oh no, I can feel that it creeps in, I should think about this, I should do that, I should have this thing here. You know it intellectually, but you still start leaning there, because that is actually the sense of self. That is the self re-injecting itself into your reality again. So you can kind of drop out of it. That's when you're non-centric. But then there's so much inertia to that you can't just like make it stop. Exceptions happen. Like it would be, if you've ever read Eckhart Tolle, he basically had a complete meltdown of his self. It was so painful that he just kind of separated from it and like, I can't stand this anymore. And then it just kind of dropped. If you read what he says, it doesn't actually sound like it completely dropped. It just dropped for a while, and then it reasserted itself in another way, much softer than it is for the majority of people. So it doesn't really just go away like that. It tends to be that you need to look at this, release it, and ultimately what it is, it's not that you do something difficult, like you do this difficult meditation, and then you're rewarded by not having this feeling. No, it's that you're willing to face that uncomfortable feeling without taking action on it, meaning taking action because of it. Not necessarily you cannot do that thing, but letting that control you and just allowing yourself to feel what you're feeling and seeing that it just comes and passes. It comes and passes. And then you allow yourself to feel good even when you're in a situation that you believe you shouldn't. And then that kind of just dissipates because it has nothing. It's just a feeling. It makes no sense that you should be controlled by something like that. And other people can manipulate you into feeling that way so that you will do what they want them to do. You will do what they want you to do. I hope I said that correct. I understand, Nadia, no problem. Yeah, it's a struggle. I can understand. Mm-hmm. I hope so too, Nadia. As we're just discussing I can't remember the name of it, but the problem with swallowing food. I have heard of that before. I had a student actually at work who had that issue. I can't remember what they did. It was something. Yeah, we could try to look at that one time, Nadia, in the meeting next month. Like, there's some exercises you can do to actually start seeing where that distortion comes in. And it's quite interesting when you do that, because you can start feeling that, what happens. But there's so much stuff like that can happen to us. And people reading this now from the outside might say, like, well, that sounds crazy. Like, obviously that's just something weird. But you don't realize that we all have these things. We all have these things that we just behave like that. It's just that that's something that's really affecting your life more daily. And intellectually, you can see how this is like a ridiculous thing to do intellectually. But that doesn't matter, because you feel that way, so that's real for you. And it's the same with other things we have. We might feel, I'm not worthy of love. Something someone may say. So I choose partners who aren't nice to me. Or I'm not worthy of a promotion, so I'm just going to keep working and keep my head down and not get into trouble. Or there's all kinds of stuff that we do to ourselves that make us like limit how we live our lives, because of this separate system that's running in parallel to ourselves. And liberation is not liberation from your thoughts, or enlightenment is not from our thoughts. It's not from this world, which is, this is what it is. This is all there is that we can see. There might be other stuff, but this is what we are able to perceive. Liberation is from this thing here on the side that makes you feel bad. That's the part that makes you feel you cannot swallow the food when you're eating it, or that's the thing that makes you feel bad when you feel guilty about something that you had, like, has nothing to do with you, but you still feel bad. Or I had today, there was someone who actually, it was a pizza oven. I messaged someone who was selling a pizza oven, and I had seen an ad for exactly the same pizza oven for like much lower when he offered. And I wrote him, I said, I saw another guy who offered it for this. And he responded really angrily. He was, so I offered him basically what that guy offered, but a little bit lower because he had less accessories. And he wrote back really angry, like, I've been on here on Facebook Marketplace for so long, and I don't fall for that shit. And like, you can forget about that, and like, go like eat a mushroom or something. I don't remember what he said. And there would have been a time when I would have felt, oh my God, I would have felt threatened. I would have felt bad about that, rejected, or I said something wrong. And now I could just feel that, like, almost like a ripple, and then it just disappeared, because it's just a distortion. I don't need to do anything with this. I mean, it's not like he's going to come to my house and yell at me. It was just someone who rejected an offer. And it wasn't like unreasonable or anything. He had a special guy. Like, and some people are like that, and that's fine. We don't need to feel bad about that. Let's see, how does it work when you look at the distortion? As an example, I don't like saying I have this too, but I have problems with vomiting. Yes, yeah, that would be really nice, Nadia, to do that. And now I have kids, there is more vomiting. Yes, kids do tend to vomit in bed also, but now I don't feel too much stress anymore when they vomit. But my mind is still going weird. Get it? Yeah. Mats is saying, I have very strong distortion lately. It's an unfulfilled desire. Been torn between just trying to fulfill the desire, to feel its fleeting nature, versus letting go of the desire beforehand. So is it the fear of missing out on that desire, or is it that the craving for that experience or thing that you're feeling, Mats? You can always try to get yourself 20 or treatment by journalism. Might help. might not. I met people who've gone on, like, been away. The problem is when I know quite a few people who were monks who went back to lay life. It's not that easy. I mean, I can talk from experience myself. It's quite rough, and you live such a weird lifestyle in comparison to lay life that is difficult to kind of mesh them together. And I think this is one of the biggest issues with Buddhism, is that it is still based on asceticism. I think it's called asceticism, right? Is that the right pronunciation? Asceticism? Asceticism. Men, not women generally, but men, who lived in the forest and lived off of alms from like lay people, and they lived very simple. Trying to combine that with living a lay life with children, a family, a home, financial responsibilities and social responsibilities, very difficult to get that to work. And many people who live as monks and then disrobe and go into society, they get burnt out, or they go into depression, or they have issues. I mean, I've spoken to quite a few, and I know people who get really depressed from this. And it was tough for me as well to make that shift from living like that. Also, you, as a monk, you're treating as a demigod, and all of a sudden you're nobody. That's might sound like, oh yeah, but you're nobody because you wear the robes. Yeah, but you're treated like a demigod. So when you take that away from people, that affects you as well. So I'm not sure how much that would help. Jack, there's only you and your Lama or Guru for every day month, and it takes 4 to 12 years. Yeah, I mean, for some people that's amazing. I really enjoy doing what I did, even though I didn't live in that way the whole time. I did more in 3-month periods, but suited me much better. Much both. So there's a distortion towards an unfulfilled desire. Is this something that's within your grasp, meaning something you could do? If you're talking about going on like buying a yacht, that might not be within your something you could do. But if we're talking about, I don't know, like going out partying for 3 days straight, like that's something you could theoretically do. So then it comes down to, is it something that actually will do something? But the whole point with following desires, it depends on how you live your life. The advantage of doing what Jack is suggesting, or living like I did, is that you stop trying to find the relief of that distortion by doing it. So whatever it is you have the desire for, you feel an uncomfortableness, and you feel that if I would do that thing, this feeling would disappear. And there's a feeling, if I don't do it, I'll miss out on it. I remember when I was a teenager, I had this thing, like I want to have a threesome with two girls. I mean, sorry, I'm just honest. And I had this thing when I was a teenager, like that's on my bucket list. I have to do that, which is completely for me, like I could never, like it would not work with how I see sex, and like I feel it more a monogamistic thing. But I felt like that was a thing. And now I've been with the same woman for 9 years, and I could never think of doing that. And I feel no lack of, I wish I would have done that. If I only would have done that, then my life would have been so much better. But at that time, it felt like that was something really important. Like that was, I mean, I was young and I don't know. So when we have these things, the desires, we believe that if I could just do that thing, that will make me feel better. But there's also the fear, if I don't do it now, I'll never be able to do it again. I'll miss out on this. This is my only chance to do that, and I need to do that. And this is what happens when you live as a monk or a nun, is that you're not allowed to do many of those things. So you're not allowed to follow that. The problem is that they kind of put it forward as in those things are bad and you shouldn't even think about it. But what I'm saying is, allow yourself to feel those things fully, the desire to do that, and see that there's nothing there. It's just a stupid feeling in your body that is making you feel bad. And when you have this, you can sometimes sit and think like, just make it stop. This is so dumb. I know this is ridiculous. I know I don't want to do this, but still I feel bad about it. Still, why can't I be happy right now? Why do I believe I have to go over there? And that's kind of the first step, is like realizing that this is just a really stupid system. It makes sense if we're talking about animals who can't think and reason and logic like we do, and you need to make them survive, then this whole system makes sense from the perspective of evolution. If you have the system, okay, you find food, you hoard things, you think about certain ways that you belong to a group so you don't get cast out. But in today's society and the way that we live, it's a system that's not needed. We don't need that system. Much is not a guarantee, but it's a possibility if I try to make it happen. I know that if I just do that thing, it might make me happy for a short time, but it's fleeting. I do have a lot of FOMO towards it, though. So one of the nice things about this is that it's not about doing or not doing. If it's something that's not bad for you, it doesn't like put you in a bad situation financially or socially or some other way, try it and see it, because you kind of need to see that enough time with awareness. That was one of the things that happened to me before I became a monk, was that I achieved my goals, had this happen, had that happen, until I just like, why does it never stop? And you need to get to that point, which is why I say many times that you shouldn't, I think it was Stephen we were talking about that, don't push down your desire to achieve things, because then you never felt it. You need to actually achieve some things and say, hey, what I was looking for isn't in achievement. And it's the same with this. Whatever it is you're looking for, and I have no idea what it is you're talking about, Mats, but I can with 100% certain say that what you're looking for is not in that thing. It will only happen briefly that you feel good from that, and then it's going to move on. So it's good to do that with awareness and see, okay, actually this is like it's not what I thought it would be. And when you've done that a few hundred times, then you're like, okay, I need to find something else. That's when you start being willing or able to not follow, because this feeling that you were describing on the beach, how you get pulled towards doing that thing, even though you intellectually didn't want to, is the self, the inertia from the self is just too strong. But I'm noticing more and more as years go on that I'm not forced to go that way. You can actually stop. And sometimes you're just holding it in the balance, but sometimes you just let go of it and there's nothing there. And sometimes you can just see it go and like you do the other thing, or you do it, but you don't do it because you feel bad. You do it because you want to do it. So whether you do it or not, I mean, again, just think of the consequence. There's still cause and effect. Even if you're liberated and you don't have this suffering, there is still cause and effect. Meaning, if you do something, if the thing you're talking about is going into a bank and grabbing a bag of money, there's still going to be consequences if you do that. So it's there's no right and wrong. Sorry, it's not that you are not in this world just because you're beyond the distortion. It's still there. It's still going to affect you, and the actions you take will still affect your reality. Everything is empty in nature. Everything is emptiness and empty. I can't remember the saying. See, Frozen was saying, I just rewatched Shawshank Redemption, which goes into the prisoner conditioning. I've never seen that movie, but I've heard about it, that it's a really good movie. I should watch that. Nice. I'm rather tired. Maybe it's just me. But I've been tired lately. I've been sleeping poorly. So, for those of you who are new, we always have a chat like this for the first 20-30 minutes or so. And then we do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method, which is a way of getting back to our senses. And by the way, if you're in the Discord, that is a great place to ask questions. Just if you have something like Mats was thinking about, sometimes I just answer there. If I have time to sit in front of the computer, or we bring it up in the meeting here. Once per month we have the group coaching calls, and then we can bring it up there. And it's really nice if people write down their question, because then I have something we can discuss. And I think this is such a nice question, because it comes down to the nature of things. We believe that it's the thoughts that's our problem, but when you really look at it, it's not actually our thoughts. There's almost like a separate system. I know that Eckhart Tolle calls this the pain body. We view it a little bit differently, but he talks about it similarly. So there's almost like a separate system. Well, it is a separate system running on the side, and that is the system that disappears when you're non-centric or non-dual. You don't feel that system anymore. It doesn't exist, because you're the one that's creating this by pushing against the world around you. And that's what's creating all this suffering. Today is Monday also, so we'll have a guided meditation. And the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. So first out, we say out loud 5 things we can see, 4 things we can feel, 3 things that we can hear, 2 things we can smell, and 1 thing that we can taste. And the whole idea, because when you do this, when you start looking at this distortion and letting go of it, and the key here is to focus on enjoying being here, enjoying this reality around us at the same time as we're forgiving, meaning we don't hold tension towards the world. And this is, I would say, the main difference between practicing what I say and doing any kind of Buddhism or Vipassana or any meditation practice is that in most meditation techniques we just view the things and we let them be, and we kind of are okay with it. We learn to be okay with feeling these things. But the thing that is missing, which I noticed when I was in Plummet, is just that you need to lean towards joy. They talk so much about enjoying, and they talk about gratitude. I don't like gratitude because gratitude feels, oh, I'm indebted. I feel I am here and I'm in gratitude to you. But appreciating is a much better word of describing, meaning I appreciate the things people do. I appreciate that all of you are here right now listening to me. I appreciate that, because if you weren't here, I'd just be sitting here talking to myself. And I've done that. And it's not as much fun as when people ask questions. So enjoying the world around you and inside of you while appreciating the things that you see is really the thing that's different from just allowing things to be. You also need to move towards a better place. If you just let the things come up and then kind of look at them and you snip them and they disappear and you become neutral. I mean, I've seen what happens when you do that for decades of meditation, and it's just like robots. It's not, generally speaking, a nice thing. You need to involve some kind of something else. And I think instinctively a lot of people do this. And I've seen monks, it's like the first few years they're very strict, and then after a decade or 2 they become like robots if they're really good at the meditation part. But then after like 40 years or so, they kind of loosen up and mellow again and become much softer, because I think they just realized it's not what they were looking for. So we're trying to enjoy the world around us and inside of us. And when we do, we start seeing the world without a relationship to it, meaning we don't feel good, bad, it's not mine, yours, even though intellectually I know this is my self. So I can look around me and I can see this cup, and I know this is my cup. I know it's not your cup, whoever you are looking. This is my cup. I know that, but I don't feel that. I don't feel, oh, I need to hold on to this. Or I see you have a cup, I'm going to grab that cup and take it. I don't have that feeling of, if I could get your cup, I would feel better. If I would lose this cup, I would feel worse. Now then, if we can't understand what is that like, it feels like, okay, then I'll just not care about the cup and give it to anyone. No, that's not what happens. I can intellectually understand this, but there's simply one aspect of interacting with the world that disappears. And life is so much more enjoyable when you live life like that. The difference is so stark and obvious that when you do experience the world like that, it's like, why don't I experience the world like this the whole time? This is so much better. But then that part that Mats was talking about comes in again and starts putting, no, it can't be like this, or I'm doing something wrong, I should be doing this, or they can't do this, and then we start pushing and pulling again. So in this exercise, we're trying to see, so I look at this glass cup, and I try to see the reflection. I say, wow, it's actually really clean, which is crazy because it's like 2 years old, but it's still really glossy. I don't see any, there's no marks or anything on it. It looks like brand new. If I would have cleaned it, it is clean, then it would look brand new. Reflections, shadows, curvatures, textures, just being curious. It's basically about becoming curious about reality. So say out aloud on your end 5 things that you can see. I can see a door lock. I see a plant. I see a Buddha statue my mother gave for me. So I can remember that she gave it to me, but I don't feel, ooh, that's the memory I got from her. And I was in Sri Lanka, I was a monk when I got that, and it's actually, she gave me, yeah. So I can go into all the story and feel something towards it, or just observe it. And when I just observe it, then it's beautiful. It's this beautiful wooden piece, and it's like carved, and lots of reflections in it right now. I see a timer. There's 5 things that I could see. Next we take 4 things we can feel. Same thing here. So I can feel this cup, and I can feel that it's really glossy, but there's also, it's like something stuck on here. I'm assuming it's something from the dishwasher that didn't go away. So I can feel that, and I can feel how that, oh, this is interesting. If I go, oh, that's like, oh, it's not clean, maybe there's, like, then I start having the distortion, but just feeling, oh, that's actually interesting. This is why when you're feeling clear and more towards non-centricness, an old door will look beautiful to you. A dirty wall with lots of like old stuff, you're going to be fascinated by the patterns and the spots and like all the stuff that's smashed onto it. It's like everything becomes beautiful because you no longer have, oh my goodness, that's an old door. That's yucky. Or the wallpaper, oh, that's so bad. When you drop that, then the world becomes beautiful, and it's the kingdom of heaven is what is it they say? Kingdom of heaven is here, or kingdom of heaven is within, or whatever it is. The whole idea is that it's actually here. It's not somewhere else you need to go. When people can't see this, they believe, oh, I need to go to another dimension, or I need to be reborn. You know, it's like, skip that, because we don't know about that. I'm not saying it's not true or that it is. It's just, why waste your time looking for something that we cannot find from here when there is something here that is so beautiful? Sorry, I'm gonna go. Things I can feel. Oh yeah, I can feel there's an itching here in my hair. Something itching a little bit there. I could feel my jaws kind of crackling here when I yawned. And that was 4 things that I could feel. Like, we take 3 things that we can hear. I can hear birds singing outside. I hear cars passing by. I can hear a crackling in my neck. There's 3 things that I could hear. Next we take 2 things that we can smell. And I just drank, so I can smell lemongrass. And warm clothes. Smells like clothes have been lying in the sun. Almost a little bit dusty. 2 things that I can smell. Next we take 1 thing that we can taste. I can taste the after flavor of the waffles, which was like a strawberry protein in the waffles. So put yourself in a comfortable position and start focusing on your breath. Start becoming aware of how you're breathing in and how you're breathing out. We're not trying to look for specific sensations of the breath. Instead, we're focusing on awareness of breath happening. We're trying to be aware that we are breathing, not the actual physical sensations themselves. Now, it's very easy when you sit down like this to believe that the reason we're doing this is so that we can gain some kind of mental edge to become better, smarter, stronger, more powerful, more focused, so that we can become more successful. Or if you really meditate a lot, then there's going to be thoughts of, oh, maybe I can have cities or superpowers where I can do magic, and maybe we can levitate, maybe see other dimensions. I want to learn how to see auras, be a light weaver, light worker, communicate with other dimensions. And there's all these things that spirituality gives almost like a treat, that if you do this, then this is your reward. But there's just one problem with all of that. If you focus on your breath, just the thing happening right here, as we're sitting here, closing our eyes and being aware, what will happen is that you become more centered, more focused on your experience right now. You'll be more aware, more in tune with the reality happening around you. You'll be able to see the world without the filter of I, me, I want, I don't want. Instead, you'll be able to see the world as it is. And when you do, there's no friction between you and the world. It's as if though you didn't exist. You're just there. And you can truly see how beautiful the world is. But the problem is that the way spirituality has been built is that we want to have superpowers. We want to be strong so we can prevent wars, prevent conflict from happening, or healing people, or doing something magical, being special, doing something incredible, extraordinary. Which again, I'm not saying you can't or could do those things either. And I'm just saying that that will still have the same issue that we've always had. The same as that desire that you believe, if I could only do that thing, then I'll be happy. It's exactly the same thing if you would learn to levitate, if you would learn to read minds, if you could fly. It doesn't matter. You'll still have the same issues. Which is why the thing overcoming all of those things is this system that is constantly harassing and controlling you, forcing you to do things you don't want to do, making you feel bad when you don't want to feel bad. And by learning how to observe this process happening inside of us, we can let go. We can learn to surrender. We can learn to accept. We can learn to forgive. We can learn to appreciate and enjoy just being here, no matter what here is showing us. You don't need a $100 million airplane to be happy. You could just as well have the drawing of one, or go and watch someone else fly it. But you don't need to put in all the effort, all the work, all the tension to get there. That doesn't mean you won't do anything. It just means you'll do what you need to do, and you'll be so much happier than the person who has everything, because you're actually experiencing everything. So as we sit here and focus on our breath, remember that it's all about enjoying. It's all about appreciating. It's all about leaning towards being in a good mood, towards feeling good. Not because of something that happened, not about something that you got or that didn't happen, but just because of being here. That's why you're feeling good. That's why you're enjoying. And as you do that, also learn to feel forgiveness. Learn to be accepting. I often mention the Ho'oponopono method, where they say, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Not because those words are magical, but because those words disarm the self. They take away the tension and allow you to just see what's happening around you. So as we're sitting observing our breath, keep that in mind. And to make it a little bit easier, we'll do a technique where we count our breaths from 1 to 8, and then down again from 8 to 1. And I'll do it together with you once, and then you can keep doing it by yourself. So breathing in and out. 1. In and out. 2, in and out, 3, in and out, 4, in and out, 5, in and out, 6, in and out, 7, in and out, 8, in and out, 7, in and out, 6, in and out, 5, in and out, 4, in and out, 3, in and out, 2, in and out, 1. Now keep counting your breaths from 1 to 8 and then down again from 8 to 1 as you breathe in and out. 1, in and out. As you're observing your breath, feel if you have any distortion inside of you. Anything you're pushing against, anything you're pulling towards. FOMO, or fear of something that happened or something that might happen in the future. And just repeat to yourself, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. There's no need to try to make anything happen. Instead, just say the words and see what's behind them. It might feel strange saying it to a feeling inside of you, but just try to do it without friction, without a sense of perspective. Just letting the words come out. I'm sorry. Please forgive you. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. As always, thank you for joining, and feel free to join the Discord forum and have a voice chat after if you want to, or just book a meeting if everyone wants to chat. That's fine. It should work. If it works, tell me. I'd be curious to hear. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, everyone, and I will see you on Thursday again.